Alright guys, the Fiat 500 Lounge. Not the little small one, the big 4-door one.
I thought it was a trekking.
500 Lounge trekking. That's the brakes for these. You'll see a lot where they have the brakes for the smaller ones. This is the bigger one. And I might have to cut it up in a couple parts if my camera dies. So just bear with me.
Well, on the back here is two little rubber, I don't know what you call them, but they have a cap on them. You take the cap off, one up above, one down below, and this is to take the caliper off. And then you stick a 7mm Allen wrench, and it goes in here, and it was pretty easy to break this bolt. And what this is the caliper pin. And there's one at the bottom, one at the top. And then what I will do is you have to loosen these up as far as you can go.
Don't worry about his elbow. You just make sure you get that in there and loosen it up. It's only 2 holes.
That one's off.
Now, I hope you guys have enough common sense to know that you obviously have to take the wheel off first. So while he's unloosening those, you take the wheel off first. You're going to take a flathead screwdriver to take that off, to get to it. So take a flathead screwdriver and it'll pop off the little cap things. Hold on. It'll pop off those caps right there. And that's how you get to it. So
now,
back to this.
This here is a little clip that holds in the caliper and the brake. So what I had to do was go in here and get this there. So it unpops from that. There's a little groove right here. I don't know if you can see that. And then this will come out. Can be a bugger, but we'll get her. Okay, set that aside. This should be loose, but doesn't feel like it is, so. So we have to pry this. Try not to do any damage to the rotor. There's nothing holding it on anymore except the piston. I'll push these bolts back a little bit so they're not hindering. This one's still not quite out. And I'll show you these when I get it out. They're out of the way. This is still in there pretty good. Try not to hit the rotor. There.
There it goes. Pop it out like that.
Here's these little caliber pistons like.
So you want to pull those out.
Because we're going to grease those up with caliber grease. Okay, now there's one brake pad. That's worn down there pretty good. And then this one,
actually doesn't look that bad.
yeah, this one doesn't look bad, but
just got to change them at the same time.
Try not to damage piston in any way, but there's probably a better way to do this. But
yeah, this is a quick thing. Don't forget these hooks. When you get the brakes, here, let me show them that. When you get the brakes, make sure they have that goofy little hook set up in there, because if not, it won't fit in the 500L trekking perfectly. So
then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this the one from the other side, the old brake pad, and I've got this little tool that cost about 10 bucks. As you can see, it will depress the piston. But I've got to get it shorter because we depress the piston on the other side. There. So I'll put that there, and it's on the piston. I don't know if you can see that good. And then I'll screw this in. And it'll do it very uniform so that there's no damage to the caliber piston. Not much farther that can go, but we'll get it down there as low as we can. Just makes getting the brakes on easier. I can see it going down. It's just about there.
Yep. I'm going to pause this, guys. Click for part 2. I want to make sure I got enough film to get it, but we're stopping right here. Make sure you have that. If you don't have that, get a C-clamp. That way you can push it back in and just makes the brakes pads easy to slide on.